going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. The actual Holy Grail 2.0 rebuild is about to kick off in this very video. We got the old girl out here with the tint. Looks so much better. Brody, you killed it. I was gonna drive this thing over to Lime Ridge where we're dropping it back off today, but it's actually not safe to do because of that sway bar thing we had discussed in the last video. If you missed that, basically the track bar drop rack, it extends out a little bit past the frame, and the factory sway bar off the 6.7 power stroke that would retrofit on contacts that sway bar, and it just doesn't work. It feels so much better in here now, man. I am so excited about being able to just drop the windows, open up the triangles, and go for a cruise in this truck, especially once it's all buttoned up underneath. And speaking of buttoning up, we're actually gonna be doing the complete opposite of that in today and the following videos to suit, because a massive transformation is about to go down on this thing. I know a lot of you guys have been missing the truck build videos. This truck right here, it's gonna be kind of the truck that fills that void. So boys, buckle up, because this one's about to be a lot of fun. Hopefully the battery's not dead. Oh my God, like a gem, like a gem. Smooth. Oh, I shouldn't have put the window down yet. But we're good, everything's good, it's still in place. The fact that I can just jump in this thing, turn the key, and start up a DURTYMAX and an OBS is a feat in and of itself. You know, I really hate when you need a jump box, but you don't have one, so you have to use a Ram TRX instead. All right, it's freezing outside. Let's get this thing pulled in, and then we'll discuss. Actually, just kidding, guys. We're gonna go for a quick little road shakedown test, because the shakeability is actually one of the things that we're trying to fix in the process of, well, making this thing look completely different. I hate when my rear view mirror is just out of adjustment. You know what I mean? Like, that's the worst. So this is her stable for the next few weeks, as the disassembly is about to commence today. This truck is going to require a lot. There's a lot of little details that are going to add up to a pretty insurmountable amount of work, and our friend Zach is actually gonna help us get the process started. This is very much a team effort kind of build, as now the truck is right next to Next Level Motorworks. Tyler is very busy with a lot of customer jobs, and ultimately this thing is going to take up a lot of time. Now, not that he doesn't want to do it, but it's pretty cool because Zach and Tyler actually work together on a lot of other things. Zach had some openings, and he said that I could bring the truck in so we can continue the forward momentum on its build. So first things first, I talked about the sway bar earlier in the video. We are making a custom sway bar out of this tube stock right here. Now, this is a specific style of metal that I can't remember the name of, but it's actually going to get bent, and then it's going to be sent off to a hardening company that's going to change the molecular properties of this metal to make it even harder. Now, that was actually really kind of a challenging thing to do, because we needed to figure out what the manufacturer hardens their metal to. Once we figured that out, we actually decided to make it a little stiffer so it could almost act as somewhat of a torsion bar, but a sway bar together. Now, there are some companies that actually offer torsion sway bars that effectively accomplish the same thing. We just decided that we're gonna make our own, being that this thing is very much custom with a K. Now, let's talk a little bit about the truck, shall we? Zach does a lot of really awesome welding work. He just recently stepped out on his own, and I love supporting other aspiring entrepreneurs that are just taking action on their goals and dreams. When I had learned about the fact that he was joining the Lime Ridge team, I actually gave him some initial work to keep him busy, and he did an awesome job by building us the powder coating racks down at Left Lane Coatings. So now he's got the OBZ, and he's about to sink his time into it. First things first, the axles are gonna be removed. We're gonna take off pretty much everything that we worked very tirelessly to get installed, so that way we can take the stuff down and get it coated. Rear axles and the rear leaf springs are coming off as well, and some of the other components, that way we can really dress this thing up. So while the truck is completely disassembled, yes, we are going to be adding some new tires to this thing. I know you guys were on the fence about these. There's like 50% of you that love the Furies with the semi-stretched look. Then there's 50% of you that absolutely do not approve whatsoever. These wheels and tires were installed ultimately as a temporary setup, although I do really like the specialty forges. I feel like they fit this truck, especially once the whole thing comes together. So I ended up picking up some new tires for it that you guys will see in some future videos. So while the truck is down and effectively we have all the parts in our hands to get them coated and looking absolutely sick and colorful, I've tasked Zach with a few other jobs. Job number one is fabricating up an actual meant to be battery box that is better than my little Husky solution for the time being. This was very much just a temporary setup so I could get the PCM, the battery in place, and all connected to the BCM, and everything's somewhat organized here on the driver's side of the truck. It's not clean, it's not factory by any means, but it's a good blueprint to then build off of for a permanent solution. Then once it's all fabbed up, we're gonna take it down the left lane and get it coated as well. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of convenient having access to a powder coater because I know a guy, that's all I gotta say. We're also gonna dig a little bit deeper into the viability of connecting the standalone DURTYMAX harness into the factory 7.3 gauge cluster. We still don't know if this is 100% possible, but it is certainly the most desirable outcome because it would be the coolest retrofit of 2 OEM plus modifications coming together in sync. I don't want to continue to depend on this little CTS3, which you can see has kind of gotten demoted off of the windshield, being that it's now tinted and looking fantastic. Another task for Zach is the accelerator pedal right here. It actually sits up significantly higher than factory placement, which kind of makes driving the truck awkward, but it was neat because I was able to utilize the factory DURTYMAX mounting bracket in the OBS chassis. I believe that we'll be able to actually use that same bracket, but cut it down and make some modifications to get it a little bit lower down to the footwell, and then that way your foot's not on a bizarre angle while you're trying to cruise this thing down the road. Last and finally, but not least, Zach is actually going to take advantage of his welding capabilities and get rid of the U-bolt style shock mounts that are on this 05 axle that went in place of the 08 axle that was actually a complete paperweight that I got unbeknownst to my knowledge. If you guys remember, we went out to a very specific used parts location in Pennsylvania and they sold us some nice axles. Well, come to find out, the one axle was not nice at all and it was completely totaled, being that all the gears and everything inside the axles were completely seized. So I was up against the rebuild, or do I just get another axle that'll effectively do the same thing for much cheaper but in good condition? And that's what I did. So this axle is out of an 05 Super Duty, but it has this U-bolt style shock mount. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna weld that mount to the axle prior to coating them, and then that way we have that newer factory style without that kind of old antiquated design. I'm hoping that we can make this gauge cluster thing work though. Ideally, I want this to all tie out as if the inside of the truck was factory, and then that way I can put the dash back together, I can get the DSP5 switch mounted up to my location right here, and then we can feel like we have a complete truck yet again versus a complete construction site. I don't want to discount the fact that the OBZ, the holy grail, my DURTYMAX swapped OBS Ford, has come such a long way. The fact that we can just take this thing off the trailer, drive it in, take it around the corner, feel it out, is a monumental leap and accomplishment in and of itself. It's just, I'm a completed product kind of guy, and our progress is very much underway, which is extremely exciting. All right, homie, take good care of her. I'll see you next time. Precision Vehicle Works, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited about everything that we are going to be able to do together. Now off to our next location. All right, guys, so I got Evan here. He's from Ontario.
Yes, sir.
And he was on his way back from Florida and decided to drive over 8 hours.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
to come say what's up. And luckily
Absolutely.
he caught me. I can't say that I'm here every single day, but I'm glad that you ran into me, man, because I wouldn't have wanted you to leave like disappointed. So I decided, being that Evan is from Canada, we have a guest from out of the country that we would show him Dream Diesel giveaway number 30 and 31. What do you think of that color?
Absolutely. I'm a big Dodge guy. So
You like that
all
thing?
Ram trucks. Oh, yeah.
Don't say the color,
That thing's
because
wicked.
nobody knows what it is yet. But do you like the color?
I like it. That's a big fan.
You like the direction we're going with it?
Absolutely. That thing's wicked.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are going to see soon, but I can't tell you quite yet.
Nope.
But we can discuss, now that you're seeing this truck in person, you've seen it on the internet?
Yep, absolutely.
What do you think?
It's actually better.
Better.
It's almost like
better in person.
It's like a grayish blue,
It's-
which I didn't.
It's kind of hard to judge it on media because sometimes like I look like a pale ghost. But like I like to think that I have a little bit of color tone to my skin, but not on camera. And it's kind of the same way. Like camera lens kind of lightens things, it heightens things just a little bit. It also makes me look a lot taller than I actually am in person.
No, I wouldn't mind driving that.
Now I'm gonna be sad to see it go, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
That's tough. That's gonna be a tough one.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, that thing's awesome.
I appreciate that. Got some good ones.
That thing's
Hell yeah.
freaking awesome.
Thanks, man. I appreciate your excitement over it. You guys take care. Attitude of gratitude. It changes your entire life. Guys, it's so awesome taking the R8 down the loop road and having the ability to actually connect with people of such like-mindedness. I want to introduce you guys to a little thing about YouTube that probably not a lot of people think about as they're watching videos on a screen in the comfort of their house or wherever it is that you are. YouTube is actually a very serious component of solidarity. Most of the times I filmed videos at my house or in private locations that respectfully I didn't really welcome everybody to. I'm sorry, I love you guys. You're like family to me, but you gotta understand. Now, having left lane on Loop Road, I have the ability to connect with you guys. It's really more about the passion of connecting with like-minded people and sharing that camaraderie, that brotherhood, and that enthusiasm together. All right, so it's a new day. I've kind of been splitting my vlog days in two with the work that goes into establishing processes. If you guys want to see more of that, I can certainly begin to film more of it, but you're gonna have to drop some comments below. The thing that I really want to introduce to all of you this year is the fact that a lot of my days revolve around running the business side of what it takes to make passion the priority. Now I have the means of doing so, and I'm going to continue to share little tips, tricks, and tidbits of what it's like to be an entrepreneur. Headed back out to get an update a day later on the OBZ. I wonder how far Zach's been able to get with the progress. I'm pretty excited to find out, so how about we get en route? We'll see you, buddy. So do you guys like that new Morgan Wallen song, Everything I Love? I personally cannot stop listening to it. I know like the mainstream country thing isn't for everybody, but I don't really like genre discriminate. I like all types of music because really if it does something for me, and it gives me a euphoria, and it makes me feel happy. That's the whole purpose of music, right? Also, the 2018 V10 Pluses have Apple CarPlay, which is also another fantastic upgrade versus the first R8. Anyway, all right, that was completely random and unnecessary. It just doesn't get any better. This car is completely stock performance-wise, and I love every ounce of it. And I truly try to grasp every component of what a naturally aspirated V10 is. Yes, I'm excited about twin turboing it. I love turbos, and I'm so thrilled. That's one of my goal bucket list items in life. But I'm not gonna rush right into it because it kind of takes away from the fantastic component of building a relationship with a car, or a vehicle in general at that. Aesthetics, that's a different thing. Rush into the aesthetics, get them done. But man, once you set it up like this and it's tastefully modded, boys, it is nothing but an enjoyable ride. Now, speaking of an enjoyable ride, this OBS project has been awesome. We are back up at Lime Ridge for the second day in a row, but second time on the vlog. Let's see how the progress is making out, shall we? So it has been less than 8 working hours, and this is the status of the truck. Zach has not been messing around, to say the least. We're actually in the process over here of pushing out all of those lovely bushings from the leaf springs. So how about we start talking about just how ugly they are? Well, fortunately, I know a guy that does some powder coating, and that's gonna not be the case for long. These machine pressed in pins are kind of a pain. These are gonna get completely refinished. I just don't know the color yet, and I'm not sure, even though you guys commented so many great suggestions, if I should go with white as complement or red as complement. Axles, what are we doing? Are we committing to white axles? Are we committing to cherry red axles? I'm not sure yet, but I am gonna stick to the cherry red because we've already got that color up underneath the truck, and I really like the whole red and white thing, mostly because the truck has a red interior, and I felt like if I went any other direction, it might clash when the doors open, and that would kind of drive my OCD up a wall. By the way, Zach just got some new tools. Gear wrench extended swivel heads, dude, are you kidding me? I need a set. Nah, guys, the whole idea was basically just to create a hovercraft OBS DURTYMAX pickup, kind of trying to change the game. It's one of the first of its kind, and I'm not gonna lie, being that the OBS is so square and so straight the whole way around, kind of looks pretty cool. Or it looks like we're in process of the world's tallest OBS, Kind of coming for Bigfoot right now. We're not trying to change the game, not trying to take his title, but you guys could see that this is probably the equivalent of what that thing is. Now, it's neat to see it all up in the air. We've got our brand spanking new calipers hanging. Front end has been completely torn down. Axles are ready to rock and roll for the next phase, which I am so unbelievably excited about. Now, while the truck's up in the air, you can kind of see the shimmy way that I created a brace for the battery box that was once an intake box. So you can see my fantastic welds that did exactly the ability to hold the BCM up here. Now, the PCM is also mounted to this by just a kind of a quick little drill and tap scenario. By no means fantastically clean, but innovative at that for a guy that knows nothing about welding and is completely YouTube certified from a training perspective. Now, all this other wiring and stuff can't come out because it ties in the BCM to all the rest of the truck. This was the transmission plug. That's kind of just going to get tucked up and nestled away. This was also some random transmission componentry that's also going to kind of get tucked up and away. But it's the premise that counts. It's also pretty cool to see right here the 7.3 intercooler that goes up to the DURTYMAX intercooler pipe, which is our boost solution, until we legitimize that by taking a road trip out to a very familiar location, i.e. Whirly Fab, later this year, where they're actually going to help us out with something truly one of a kind to outfit this truck with the most legitimate parts possible. Also, I know I've talked about it a million times, but how freaking beautiful is that exhaust? It is just one of many very shiny things that are going to make this truck the holy grail of all OBSs. Now, we are also going to be pulling a bunch of other components off, and I'm going to be taking you guys along the process of this entire transformation now that I effectively have the means of controlling all of those levers myself, which means I can bring you all along. My goal is to update and document as much of my life as possible, and we are slowly getting that objective back on track. Now, we're taking a very long cruise in the R8 up to the front of Lime Ridge because Sam just messaged me and said that he's got something very specific that he needs to talk to me about. I wonder what it could be. Also, can we just take a minute to appreciate how beautiful this car is? My goodness, man. I would say something, but it's probably not appropriate to say on YouTube, but it has something to do with me being very excited.
Later.
All right, guys, see y'all. Take care. Dudes, I have a crazy plan right now that is all unraveling right here before our eyes. We are bringing a truck onto the channel that we have never done in the past before, and I'm so excited about it. Plus, it happens to be one of my all-time favorite models. That's all I can say right now. I'm sorry. God, it's so good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and that's where we are wrapping up the vlog tonight. Check out that view there behind us. That is absolutely gorgeous. You know the nice thing, the sun is staying out for even longer, and that means that the end of daylight savings or whatever, I don't remember the formalities, but we're getting more light back soon, and I'm pumped about that. Thank you to everybody that chose to enter for Dream Diesel giveaway number 30. All those entries are now with compliant sweepstakes services, and DDG 31 is right around the corner. I did something very special for you guys that has been longed for and requested since a specific giveaway truck that seemed to leave an impression on all of you. We're bringing it back. That is all that I can say for now. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next upload.